Hello, this is Data Journalism Portfolio number 3, Excel Skills. And this is the first part of the Excel skills, and it's a little look at Excel to introduce you to what it is. Excel is software that's very commonly used as part of data journalism. In fact, you can do quite a lot of what constitutes data journalism using Excel. So the first thing, what is it? Basically, it's, if you think of Microsoft Word is for manipulating words, Microsoft Excel is for manipulating numbers. And what you can do with it, what we'll be looking at here, is things like sorting, grouping, and doing calculations on the numbers. So where do you get it? Well, it's included in Microsoft Office. So if you've got Microsoft Word, you'll very often have Microsoft Excel as well. As part of studying at the university, you currently get a free Microsoft Office to use on your PC or Mac at home for the duration of your study at the university. Or, without installing anything, you can use Microsoft Office Online for free in a web browser. And it works in a very similar way. So we know about Word documents, we know about Microsoft Word. Well, Microsoft Excel has something called a spreadsheet. And this spreadsheet, in the way that a Word document is .docx at the end, that's called the file extension. The file extension for Microsoft Excel is .xlsx. If you're looking at some older Excel files, the file extension is .xls. And there's also another version of data for using spreadsheets called CSV, .csv. That's comma separated values. It's basically a list of numbers separated by commas. And you can import that as a file in Excel in the same way, pretty much, as the .xlsx. So, what's in a spreadsheet? Well, a spreadsheet consists of many sheets, and these are shown in a tab at the bottom left of your screen. So, for example, it'll be called Sheet 1, Sheet 2, and Sheet 3. They're sort of like pages within the document. Many spreadsheets have only got one sheet, right? But if you're opening something and you're not sure something's missing, maybe look and see if it's in one of those blank sheets. So let's just have a look. So here's our Excel file, and at the bottom we've got Sheet 1 and Sheet 2, and if you click on this plus next to it, you've got a new sheet, Sheet 3. Oops, that's in the wrong place. I'll click and drag along eventually, and there it is. Right, so if I click on Sheet 1, type in Sheet 1, click on here, Sheet 2, click on here, Sheet 3. Right, that's how you move across the different pages or sheets within an Excel file. Okay, within that sheet, inside the spreadsheet, you've got rows and columns. And the rows are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc. And the columns are labelled A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, etc., etc. So let's have a look at our spreadsheet. This is column A, column B, column C, row 1, row 2, row 3. Yeah. And when you have something which is in a row and a column, that's called a cell. So a cell is the name given to the square, the intersection of column and row. So this is B3. Let's find B3 in our spreadsheet. So we've got A, B, C, B, sorry, 1, B2, B3. So this is B3. You can see there, it also gives the name box for that cell, B3. And so inside this cell, we can store things. We can store bits of data. So how does this work? You can enter the value directly into each cell, or you can type the value in what's known as the formula box in the box above the cells. And when you're typing it in, you can use a little trick. You can put an equal sign which tells the spreadsheet that this is a calculation. Right, so let's try a little calculation. So I'm going to put in B1, I'm going to put 10. In B2, I'm going to put 20. And you see, I'm clicking in the cell and just typing the number and pressing return. If I want to put in B4, I've got another way of doing it, which is to use this box here. This is the formula box, and I can type 40, and there we go. Now, let's just go down a little bit, and let's do B1 plus B2. See, I typed that in, and nothing's changed. But if I put an equal sign in front of it, it adds the two up. So the equals tells it it's a formula. And in this case, it's the cell B1 plus the cell B2. Okay. So B1 has a value 10 typed in it, B2 has a value 20 typed in it, and in the new cell I put equals B1 plus B2, and the spreadsheet calculates the formula for each cell. So what it does, which is quite clever, is if I change the 20 to 30 to 25, if I type in 25 into this box, my cursor key was locked, you see it's recalculated it. So because B2 is now 25, B1 plus B2 is 35. By the way, if you're typing, if you get stuck, sometimes you get stuck in Excel, press the escape key. It's a good way of getting out of being stuck. But you can see these are the numbers, 20, I can input equals 30, I can put equals 40 in the formula box. Right, I should put my numlock on, that's what's causing me confusion. So I've now put in 10 numbers so we can do some other simple formulas. So the formulas I'm going to look at is sum, count, and average. Yeah. And what this does is it uses what's known as a range. And a range is a group of cells. So for example, this one is the sum of A1 to A10. So let's have a look at our equivalent for that. So we've actually got it in B, but it doesn't matter. If I put here equals SUM open bracket, it's given me a list of numbers here. I put B1 and it's highlighted B1. I put a colon B10. You can see it's selected B1 through B10. Now, because I've opened the bracket, I have to close the bracket. If I press enter, it adds up to 550. If I change one of these numbers, it recalculates. pretty much instantly. So this is an example of summing of an example of the sum calculation. Right. Sum of B1 through B10. That's the way to look at it. That's called a range. Okay. So if I don't want to do a sum, let's do another one. I'll use one called a count. Right. A count. So again, I'll put equals this. The count of B1 colon B10. And it says 10 because it's counted how many bits of information there are. But say there's nothing in B3. Now the way to get nothing is to select the cell, press delete. As you can see, it now says the count is 9. There are 9 values in that range, B1 through B10. Let's try another one. Equals the average of B1 colon, which means to B10. And the average, it says, is 52.222. Okay. So if I change that back to 30, my number back to 30, the total is now 500. The count is 10 because there are 10 of them. And this formula is called average. It's now 50. Right, so you can see that for what we want to do, we can get lists of numbers and add them up, tell us how many values there are found there, and do an average. And so the spreadsheet can do many, many complicated things, but that's the basics of putting these values inside and then calculations. Okay, so that's the first part of data journalism Excel skills.